So if you could talk a little bit about that, about how you work backwards when you're thinking about, okay, we're going to budget to replace this, and the things you have to consider.
Sure. So we've been picking on roofs, but let's just stick with that theme.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've determined that you've got a roof that's going to need to be replaced in, let's say, 2 years, then what you need to do is actually start working backwards from there. And so, okay, fine, the roof needs to be replaced in 2 years. So what that means is that we need to actually have selected a contractor and have a contract in place, which means I'll have to get my board to sign off on that. That's going to have to happen in, let's call it 18 months,
okay,
in order for us to have time to put all that in place, which means that then I have to sit there and think, okay, well, if I know this needs to be replaced in 24 months and I want to get it done before it fails, that's my 18 months, then I need to back up because my board only meets once a month. So I probably need to back up 3 months so I can make sure that we have the bids,
right,
we can get onto an agenda, we can get this approved, and we can get this work on somebody's schedule to be done before we hit that 18 months. So we still have that 6-month buffer before we reach the failure point. But then you got to sit there and say, okay, well, gosh, if I have to have this in front of my board now in, 15 months, then how long is it going to take me to get those bids? So now I'm back, 2 to 3 months ahead of that. And then if I'm sitting there and saying, well, one of the questions my board is going to ask when I put this in front of them is, how are we going to pay for this? Then I really need to start actually thinking about how I'm going to budget for this now so that I can get it into, for sure, next year's budget cycle. But if at all possible, some money into this year's budget cycle so that we're beginning to set that money aside so that we have it by the time we get there.